Hello, who's the nicest person you know? Because this is bad for their health, or it might be you. Hello. So, being nice is bad for your health, but not the genuine niceness. Let me tell you more. What I want to tell you in this video, the two types of niceness, the two types of nice, why it's bad for your health, give you some examples, why it's worse than you thought, and what you can do about it. So, being nice, the two types of nice. Firstly, the genuine compassion for people. That's a lovely thing, and we need more of that in the world. Do we not? However, lots of these people who have genuine compassion are afraid of not being accepted for who they are, and they adjust themselves, or they have adjusted themselves in the past, and they continue to do so to please other people. They become people pleasers, and that's when it is dangerous for your health. That goes back to childhood trauma, and that's another name for decisions we made as children where our emotional needs were not met and we gave it the wrong meaning. So we made decisions about ourselves that were not true or accurate. And it's natural to seek approval and acceptance, but if our behavior was not accepted in the environment where we grew up, we adjusted our behavior to maintain those connections. Does that make sense? So if you think about kids growing up in alcohol, in areas of stress, alcohol abuse or drug abuse or substance abuse, or just places where parents were absent, what we do is adjust our behavior, and that's perfectly natural. But what we do if we're people pleasers, to become people pleasers, what happens is we're anxious. We grow and make the decisions about ourselves that are false in order to maintain this connection and the acceptance and approval of our parents or our carers. In the process, we lose that attachment to ourselves. We become separated and inauthentic. We become people pleasers. All right. And that's particularly true for a particular personality profile. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But why is it bad for your health then? All right, this second type of nice. Gabor Mate, you might know him. In his book, When the Body Says No, he made some very strong connections and gave lots of experiential evidence of when people from childhood traumas, had suppressed their immune systems and had all sorts of ailments because they were suppressing their emotions. Emotional repression has a physiological impact on the immune system that has been proven by science now. And it started way back in the 1960s when British surgeon David Kissam noticed that emotional repression, people who did that, who were emotionally repressed, were more likely to get lung cancer. That was on a smoking study, and lung cancer study. But it wasn't just smoke more likely to get lung cancer. So he looked into it further and he found that the people who are emotionally repressed, and that can go back to childhood trauma, were more likely to get lung cancer. And they didn't need to smoke as much to get lung cancer. So he made that direct correlation, and it's become a thing since then. Since the 60s, it's a form of science. Psychoneuroimmunology. I can't say it in one go. That's why I put the slashes in there. Forgive me. It's the study of the interaction between the emotional state, the nervous system, and the immune system. Very different to Western medicine, which is body, forget the mind, and give you a pill. It's showing the direct correlation between these areas. And if your immune system is low, autoimmune diseases, you can be very susceptible to them. That could be tiredness and fatigue, but extreme tiredness and fatigue. Alopecia, celiac disease, diabetes, Graves' disease, IBS, multiple sclerosis, I'm reading these, sorry, psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, and there's a bigger list. But when your immune system is low and not functioning well, you're susceptible to all these diseases. This is big stuff. Really, really big stuff, is it not? It's a growing science, and I am but a layman. I'm not a physician. I'm not a scientist in any way. But I'm fascinated by this. I've been fascinated by why I got stuck, why people got stuck, why I repeated certain patterns. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Where we get stuck, and I'm high on the people-pleasing level. And I work with those clients, and it was, what is it? What's this missing bit? I'm dealing with the real issues, but what's the missing bit that I'm not understanding? And this is it. So some more examples of this. Motor neurons disease. We call it motor neurons disease here in the UK, but in America it's called ALS. There was a paper by Dr. Wilbur as why are patients so nice? They had an initial assessment criteria that they go through, and an appointment that they'd see people suspected with ALS. And their criteria, unofficial criteria, was, are they extremely nice? Are they extraordinarily nice people? Because if they weren't quite, and they could tell very easily, then they would say, and pass them on to the referral and say, suspected not, because they're not, extraordinarily nice, or diversely, I suspect this person has ALS. They are extraordinarily nice. So it's a fascinating thing. And that came to be incredibly accurate. Obviously, they go and test from that, but the assessments were incredibly accurate. They didn't know at that time the connection between being extraordinarily nice and having this motor neurons disease, which is when you get a really low, ineffective immune system. So they didn't know the connection at the time. It's been proven now that we can repress our emotions and our authenticity subconsciously, have a massive detrimental effect on our body. Gabor Mate's experience with multiple sclerosis, you might have seen this in podcasts. He's talked about this. When he was writing his book, When the Body Says No, a group contacted him, and he said, look, I haven't proven this yet, but these are what I'm working with. I see it a lot when people repress their emotions, they repress their immune system, and they're very susceptible to all these diseases. And I've seen the correlation very much. And the people who do it most are from childhood trauma. They're incredibly high on people pleaser level. And the people said in the group, you're describing us. Everything he said. And he said, well, these people find it incredibly difficult to say no. And one of the ladies said, everything you're saying is us. You're just describing us. So just to prove the point, he said, okay, give me $100. And the woman on the spot said, I'm sorry, I haven't got $100. And he said, no, it's fine. I'll wait. We can go to the ATM outside. And she said, I'm not sure if I feel very comfortable to do that. And he says, what he's trying to do is just prove a point that is a completely unreasonable request from a complete stranger, and you can't say no. You find, literally can't say the word. And she agreed. It's incredibly difficult to say the word. And I should have said multiple sclerosis. It's a very debilitating inflammation of the nervous system. It's known to be stress-driven, although interestingly, Gabor Mate says that it's not taught, and he's a physician, not taught in medical school, even though it's proven to be linked to stress. And it's people pleasers who suffer from this. People pleasers, the link is well documented. People who find it very, very difficult to say no. And this group said, you're describing us perfectly. So why is it worse than you thought if you're a people pleaser? Which is a kind of lovely thing, that intention to be, genuine kindness. That's fine. That's a lovely thing. We need more of that in the world. However, a people pleaser is something slightly different. And that's when it's a danger to you, a genuine danger to you. Gabor Mate says it's the nice ones he worries about, the nice people he worries about. And Jordan Peterson says they need to grow teeth, which is absolutely being able to say no. You need to say no, but the cost is greater than you ever thought for those people, the nice ones. So we get stuck into the habit of being people pleasers, and it's completely in our subconscious. We don't realize we're doing it. We don't realize the detrimental effect it's having on us. We normalize our levels of stress, think of you can boil a frog. It's proven you can't actually do that. But you can certainly increase the temperature if you do it incredibly gradually, and we don't notice it because we normalize. So that's a normal human thing. We normalize what's happening around us all the time. We normalize it. So we normalize our levels of stress. We don't realize the impact it's having on us. We maybe, poo-poo it and go, oh no, it's not so bad. It's not so bad, because that's what we do to ourselves anyway. And we suppress our true feelings, and we're used to doing that because we've learned how to do it probably in childhood. So remember, this is incredibly bad for your health. You suppress your true feelings, your true emotions. You suppress your immune system, which makes you susceptible to diseases. These are the diseases of the autoimmune system. It's incredibly bad for your health, but it's also incredibly bad for your relationships. I'm doing a whole course on that, a free course. Contact me if you want more information on that. But we attract people who like to take the control we so readily give away. Isn't that crazy? We attract, so that whole toxic relationship stuff, the narcissists that we attract, it's all connected with this thing about being a huge people pleaser, and we make ourselves ill with it. So lastly, what can you do about it? What can people who find that they're in this level of high people pleaser on the scale, and we can measure it, what can they do? They can learn to say no with ease. Now that might sound really simple and really easy, but it's relatively simple. Yet it's not easy, especially for people who are so concerned and value being people pleasers. They value pleasing others so highly, and they don't realize the detrimental effect it has on them. However, it is absolutely easier with support. So our approach is, the support that we give is firstly understanding your trauma, then help you connect the dots of your past to see where you met, what you made it mean. And it's not true, but it's what you made it mean as a child. That's not your fault, but it's now your responsibility. You can do something with that now. And where we suppress our emotions, you can see the impact on that, really understand it. From there, we help you create a powerful metaphor that helps you understand it. I thought about this. My kids played with the remote on the telly, pressed God knows whatever button, but it all went to a different language. Have you ever done that with a device? And suddenly you are completely lost because you don't know where you are, and you can't see any of the options. You don't understand them anyway because it's all gone into a foreign language, and it's like, what do I do from here? The metaphors we help you create is one metaphor. It's about turning that into the right language. Suddenly you know where you are, you can navigate your way through, and you can understand it. You know where you are, where you need to go, and suddenly it all makes sense. So the metaphors are so powerful for that. Also, we take you through the Big 5 personality profile to help you understand your profile with these 2 bits of information, very different bits of information. You can really move forward with knowledge and really 2 different, very, very different views. And for those people that want to go forward and get that, we've got an intensive 90-day coaching program to support you through the change. So who are these people pleasers? In personality terms, in this Big 5 personality profile, which is very reliable, the people are very high in agreeableness. So this is measurable, reliably measurable. Do you think you might be? So are you high in agreeableness? Now, what agreeableness is, just to be clear, if you think this is just a scale, think of the extreme of this. So extremely kind, highly empathetic, incredibly polite. I think I'm going to run out of adjectives. Really high on the friendly scale, very trusting, far too trusting of other people. You put others first at the detriment of yourself. You find it incredibly difficult to do things for yourself because there's always somebody else you can serve and help, which is a lovely thing, but it's costing you too much. And you avoid conflict because you hate conflict. So you value harmony. So saying something you probably ought to say and put your foot down that you ought to, but it's so difficult. So you avoid conflict. Can you relate to that? Or is somebody coming to mind that, please share this with them? So this is big stuff. This is big stuff for those people. It's bad for your health. It's been proven. It's growing science. And we're all dealing with the real issues of the real impact. And Western medicine, classic approach, taking pills, antidepressants, it's not working. It's feeding a symptom. It's not the cure. So this stuff is massive. If you want to find out if you are high in agreeableness, message me. There's a free test. It's not mine. It's a free test. You don't even have to register for it. You won't get bombarded with emails or anything. It gives you that level. How high are you? Very high in this, to the danger level, or are you just really nice? And I don't say that with any condescension at all. It's really important that you find out where you are on this scale. And if you're wanting that support, I have an amazing offer that's going on at the moment if you want that intensive 90-day coaching support. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to end it there. So in summary, being nice, and this type of nice, is bad for your health and it's bad for your relationships. It's awful. And you need to know this stuff. If you think this might be you, assess where you are on this. If you're very high on this, then please don't ignore this as an issue, because it's the cost to you is so very great. Okay, many thanks. Have an awesome rest of the day. Bye-bye.